excuse me, because my volume thing's not working on here, so it's just going to be quiet, but it ain't quiet on the air. I'll let you know when we're on there. Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? This is your girl, Miss Nick, of course, T. Rochelle. We've got Blaise in the building, so whenever you pop on here, be it morning, noon, or night, you will know what's up. And who's the first one to pop on? This is Paula. Good morning, Paula. You know I love you. Hope you have a fantastic day on this day. I'm trying not to cover Blaise's handsome face. There we go.
Paula just trying to make sure I made it.
Good, because you know how good she is with that. She's one of those people that, one thing about news and media that I know, it's like, you got to catch it when it's there, you know? So if she ever called me and was like, hey, Nick, I got an opportunity, I'm like, what I got to do? Where I got to go? That door may close in 5 minutes. So I always knew to jump when she called. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Derek. How are all of you doing this morning? Hope everybody's good. Viva Fiesta and all that good stuff. So how long have you been in San Antonio, Blaise?
This time around, almost 4 years.
4 years. So you came, left, and came back, right? Mm-hmm. So are you love Fiesta? I mean, come on, you kind of love it.
Taste the New Orleans. I'm from Louisiana.
Right, okay.
Does Louisiana no justice? Let's say that it doesn't no justice.
Oh, man. But look, I always laugh when people who are not from San Antonio come to San Antonio and they're like, what's this Fiesta thing y'all be doing? I'm like, just wait a minute, you're about to find out real quick.
Oh, yeah, this is
real quick.
For me, it's not home, but it's kind of like home because I get that little Mardi Gras feel. For this little week and a half. Yeah.
You're tuned into the one your girl, Miss Nick and T. Rochelle. Good morning. We have got Blaise. He is the and I just said it on the thing. What's your title again? Blaise, goodness, it's a new one. It's the national. No, it's the regional. I was going ahead. I was foreseeing the next move. The regional news director for Sinclair Media Group, and Sinclair is actually WOAI Channel 4, Fox 29, and 35. KABB?
No, KMYS.
KMYS. So KABB is 29.
Yes.
How do you keep up with all those?
It's tough.
How do you keep up with those things? So, real quick, what does a regional news director do? Like, what do you do?
A lot.
I know that.
Right now, I run the news operations for our company. Our company is Sinclair Broadcasting. We're the largest local broadcasting company in the country. We own 177 television stations.
Oh, wow.
73 of them do news. In the state of Texas, we own 12 television stations, and I oversee the news operations for all 12 of those stations across the state of Texas.
Nice. I need to get on your Christmas list. That's what I'm talking about. Man, this is awesome. So how long have you even been in television?
33 years, if you can believe it. I started when I was 19 years old.
Really?
I always worry because if I get fired, I don't know how to do anything.
I was going to say, wifey going to take care of it.
Yeah, the wifey going
You'll figure it out.
What else do I do? You come in radio. It's similar. Well, one of the things with media, they always say it's a tough job to get into. Like, I mean, you can go to school with the whole media broadcasting and stuff, but, like, you got to have the whole package when you're in front of that camera.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
nowadays, it's a whole lot different from when I came in because you could truly specialize in one thing. And I started off as a cameraman and worked my way up into management. Nowadays, the expectation is a lot harder because we have what's called MMJs, multimedia journalists. Mm-hmm. So the expectation is for you to be able to shoot, write, edit, be on in front of the camera.
Yes.
So
it's a one-man show.
Let's talk about it though, because he's not lying. Like, he's not lying. Because your camera folks, your multimedia folks that work with you guys are awesome. Like, I know several of them and worked with them when they're out and about doing stories. And they're moving. They got the camera, they set it up, they're doing the little side spots, and they come in, and then they and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I think people always imagine, because they only see the end product, that little minute and 30 seconds. But they don't realize it's a whole process that we go through. We start at 9:30 in the morning. We have what's called an editorial meeting. And we sit down and we talk about the news and the events of the day, how they're going to shape either San Antonio or if something's going on nationally. How does that come back home? So we discuss those things, and then we assign the reporters. That's when everyone goes out. It takes time because they have to call people, set up interviews, go shoot video. And that process alone is about 6 hours of the day. And then the last 2 hours is what we call crunch time. And that's
right before it needs to air, right?
They sit down, they write. Scripts have to go through an approval process. We have to vet the information that we got. And then they're edited and put together so that you see the finished product. And then, by that time,
all day long. So the person that works the morning show, which could be from 5 to 9 o'clock, truly works.
Yeah, we go on the air on WOAI at 4:30 a.m. And on KBB we go on at 5 a.m.
Right.
Those producers for those shows, the ones that put those shows together, come in at 10:30 at night to
get ready for 5 in the morning.
So it is truly a 24-hour cycle that we work. And now you add, we talked a little bit about this before we went on, but the advent of digital and social media, we truly are 24 hours a day because we are on those platforms and having to produce content for those.
Because it has to be a story on the social media too. It has to be produced the same way that it is when
all
it
of
goes
the
out.
things that we do for on air. I'm talking about the vetting, ensuring legally that we're correct, that we have sourced the information. That's done on the web, as well as when we tweet something out or send a push notification. All of that stuff is vetted.
Well, you had said that I was just about to ask, how does news get chosen, I guess? Because you get stories and you're like, okay, we're not going to talk about that, right? Is there a process for that?
Well, it's really about relevance and importance to the overall community. What is it that people are interested in? That's number one. And what, every television station is unique because we have our what's called our core audience, those people who, no matter what, they're going to be loyal viewers, News 4 or Fox viewers.
Because those are P1 listeners.
That's right. And so you have those, so and you have a certain style that you broadcast and stories that you cover that people know that it can rely on. But in the greater and grander scheme of things, it's really about broadcasting stories that are relevant, that makes a difference to everyone in the community. I'm kind of old school in the fact that I truly believe it's our job to educate and inform I call them end users, not viewers anymore, because they're everywhere.
Can be everywhere, right.
So, the stories that we choose and pick, that's what they're based on. Are we educating the community? Are we informing our end users, allowing them to make good decisions based on the information that we provide?
Okay, so I've got one guy on here got all kind of questions. Calm down, you got so many questions, George. Lord have mercy. Okay, so first question that he has is, who decides who gets a shot at the anchor desk? Because Nika look good back there. I'm just You'll be like, Nika, we don't want to talk about none of that stuff. Get from behind there.
It's the management team. It's based on experience. It's based on...
Most of those folks have been in the business for a minute, have a following, have a great rapport with the camera and stuff.
And those things are important. It's just not putting somebody up because you want to put them up. It's really about what you just said, their rapport with the camera. Can they translate those stories to the viewers?
Yes.
Are they genuine when they come across?
Because you can't be seeming like a-hole and you talking about something tragic
Right.
or that's upsetting, you know what I'm saying, and you look like you're uncaring or sound like you're uncaring about it, like that's not gonna fly.
Because the people at home, they see
They're
that,
gonna
they
feel
pick
that.
up.
They do, and I learned that in media too, just within radio. Like they feel that on the other side of that microphone. So you really, the best thing to do is to be genuine. So when they meet you in public or in person, they're like, "Hey, you the same
Yeah.
chick you are when I see you on then."
It's real.
Yeah.
What is, I know over time it's changed, but what does the face look like as far as now, as far as minorities, if you will, and what does that face look like as far as in the media world?
Nationally or San Antonio?
Well, let's go San Antonio
Okay.
first.
Well, you know, as our city continues to grow, and it's growing at a tremendous clip, I think the face of diversity, I don't think that there's enough of diversity on air.
Yeah.
You know, since I've been here, I've promoted Darian Trotter to weekend anchor. He is the first, believe it or not, in San Antonio, the first full-time African-American
Oh, we gotta bring him on the show.
anchor on the
And
air.
I like him too.
Yeah,
He's got
and Darian is that's one of those things. That's
Yeah.
why he got promoted.
Yeah.
Was
he's got that rapport. He's got that awesome
Exactly.
smile. You know?
and what you see is what you get.
And, yeah. And when he's come out too, and I definitely want people to know this about Sinclair Group. Someone asked a question: why do you think KSAT and Ken's 5 continue to beat them? And they don't beat them. They don't beat y'all. They don't
Well,
beat them.
they have better ratings. I mean, you know what? But I don't think. I think it's habit. I mean, people grew up watching.
Right.
And
KSAT 12.
KSAT 12, and they grew up watching Ken's 5. And,
Right.
you know, I used to work at Ken's 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The first time I lived in San Antonio, I was there for 5 years. And I can appreciate what they do and what they put on the air. But I can tell you, as far as diversity, you know, when I came here to San Antonio, that's one of my first goals was to make sure that we represented the community as
Absolutely.
a whole. You know, there was Darlene Dorsey and Christina Coleman over at Fox 29, and that was the only people we had really on the air. At this point, I have Ashley King.
Right.
Yep, I love Ashley.
And Ashley is a fill-in part-time anchor for us,
Right.
Yep.
as well as a fantastic reporter. Darlene had left the business for a little while. I convinced her to come back.
Good job. She's awesome.
Love Darlene.
She's a
And,
painter too, just so y'all know. She's an artist.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, she is.
And her husband's one hell of a bass
Of a
player.
musician. Yes, he is.
Um,
That's why I be mad about her hours, because I could never go to lunch with her because it's always working. And when she's off, I want her to go to sleep.
yeah. And I mentioned
Yeah.
Darian. And the other thing too is it's not only the people that's in front of the camera, it's
Right.
the folks
People
behind the camera who have control and say. And you know, right now we have 3, 4 African American producers
Wow.
Sure
on
do.
staff.
And then the cool cameraman with the locks.
Yeah, John King. And
Love
we have
him.
two African American photographers, John
Yes,
King
yes.
and Darius Bowie. So, you know, and then there's a host of people behind the scenes
Right.
at the studios that you don't see.
Right.
Working. One of our floor supervisors, who during the newscast runs the operations, Lois West. So we have folks again behind the scenes that are
Right.
doing a lot of good things. And so, you know, our company has made a commitment to diversity and growing. So those folks that are watching Ken's 5 and KSAT, I'm just saying, hey, give us a shot
Give us a shot.
and see.
And I've only been in this genre for about 4 years now, so you know, but just to know that there is a space, if you will, for African Americans in the business, because again, like you said, when you look at the other channels, we don't see that diversity. You know what I'm saying? I like KSAT 12, you know, but I don't see.
Well, before
People that
Ken's
look
5, I'm sorry, Ken's 5 had, and I think that's probably when you were there too. Were you there when Luis Munoz was doing Great Day SA?
He got there
just
right as I was
left,
leaving.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
right as you was leaving. Okay.
Mhm.
So, and then when Kurt, of course, was
Mhm.
the director over there, he had about four black people, and that was the only. So I think that's probably over the time when y'all were
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, I like Kenneth because they got the most black people. Kurt left, you left, and now we're back to what
Yeah.
your show was stating. Yeah.
So, but no, it's important that we reflect our community and we reflect the community as
Right.
a whole. And, you know, I always tout San Antonio because, you know, we do have a small African American population,
Right.
but it's a very active
Population.
population and we're doing things.
So someone said, can you say that in this community of San Antonio that we could possibly see a black face in all aspects of the news? But you just said that we do.
We do.
You
We
have them
We have
in
them
every aspect,
aspect.
including that executive office. You have them in every
Yeah.
aspect. So another reason for you to tune in to Fox 29, 35, or Channel 4.
That's right.
And when you have the news, like I say, okay, Channel 4 is coming out there. They work for all three entities.
Yeah, it's a different concept because again, it's not a television station as in the traditional sense because we don't provide news just at 5 o'clock or 6
Right.
o'clock.
Right.
As we talked about, it's 24 hours because we have Facebook, we have our websites, we have Twitter, we do push notifications through our apps.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a content center. So the content center concept is that we gather all this information and then push it back out to our end users
Right.
on these different platforms.
Right.
So
And you know one thing that, oh, I'm sorry, go.
So community-wise, right?
Mhm.
So you know you have a lot of our local schools, whatnot, and so forth. What does your company do to connect the youth with the media, or for youth that might be interested in getting into?
we do job fairs. We
Mhm.
attend a lot of local job fairs across the city and the region. And not only that, we do hold internships
Okay.
for students. You have to be at least a junior in college, junior or senior, and we'll take you. You get college credit
Okay.
for interning with us. We have fall, spring, and summer internships.
Okay.
So you have those opportunities for the students. And the other thing, our company has been very supportive, especially in the African American community. Over the last 2 years, we've raised close to $160,000 worth
Really?
of scholarships
Oh, very good.
for the MLK Commission.
Yes,
So,
yes.
And then our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, the big company, I'm on a committee, and last year we gave out I think it was $500,000 worth of scholarships to African American students all across the country.
Right. Well, you know, I'm glad that y'all both brought that up. Segue. Because that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure people knew about Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Because a lot of things I know a few years ago, there was some, and they were wondering whether or not y'all really cared about the black people. And I'm like, you know, people are human, people make mistakes, things happen. But in media, one little thing can turn into just so much, you know what I'm saying? And I always say, please look at look beyond what you might see on the surface. Because if you look beyond that, you will see that you have a news station that has African American people hired in every position within the news company. If you look beyond, you will see that this company has been on the east side, especially I've seen with my own eyes, doing stories on entities, organizations, and community initiatives that would otherwise never get the time of day on television. This company has their reporters going out, meeting people, coming to my door and saying, tell me somebody that's doing something good that don't get any sight go to them, and they're there. And they do a story, and everybody sees what great things are happening within the community. So we like to say, look at people's record. You know what I'm saying? Look how they work beyond that stuff. And you got to look at those other entities, because that same story, that there's a lot more community stories on the website and on, you know, the social media platforms that you can find out information about than there is in the 1 hour or the 30-minute time that you can report the news.
Right.
So you can always get a full story, or you can get more information. You can get contact information, who the people are working with, who they talk to. You get all of that stuff when you log on.
Right.
You know? And so sometimes we got to go a little bit deeper than just that surface. Well, what are y'all doing for the black community? Man, Sinclair Broadcasting Group is doing a ton for not just the black community, but for the East Side community, for the West Side community. For you actually have an outreach program with somebody going out there trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we do a lot in the community, more than people give us credit for. And, you know, a lot of it is we don't promote ourselves.
I was going to say, because no one, we don't see
in that regard. But a lot of it has to do with we're just doing it because it's the right thing to do, and not to get the pats on the back.
There you go.
You know, we just need to be out there. And so we are. And like you said, I'm very proud of our folks and their involvement within the community. Mayor Taylor personally called and asked for Ashley King to moderate the a luncheon that she hosts every year for the United Negro College Fund. Ashley was also asked to personally, the community asked for her to MC a debate, and as we talked about, Darlene is everywhere you can find.
Everywhere,
you know, and again, these are things that we are not, you know, openly promoting. They just feel that it's important,
necessary
to be involved in the community, and they go out and they're involved.
And the cool thing about it is, like you said, it's a big team process. Yeah, they go out there and get those stories, but you say they can run them too.
And you know, we've done, you know, unfortunately, when you watch the news all too much, and you know, when we talk about the East Side, it's somebody got shot over here, or somebody. But there's a lot of great things that are going on the East Side, and I make sure that our two stations that are producing news, that we're telling those stories as well as the other stories. And the same thing for the West Side or the South Side, that it's not just this person got shot. There are a lot of great things happening.
The images.
Yeah. And so we make sure that we tell those stories. You know, one thing that I started when I got here, Nika was one of our first folks, is, you know, we know our history and we understand about Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman and Dr. King, but during Black History Month, there are a lot of people who are doing things in the community now.
Right.
And so during Black History Month, since I've been here, we run a story on people in the community. I call it Making a Difference Today.
Yep.
And we want to showcase those people.
Yes, I was on the inaugural event.
And so I think those things are important.
Yeah, no, they are, and they make all the difference in the world, and I think that's what connects the community together. Somebody here was saying, can your on-air personalities engage more with us when they are on social media? Now, let me just sidebar this. This one just loves him some Darlene Dorsey and Ashley and them, so he's probably just trying to get some eyes. He's probably just, Darlene, talk to me. But again, you know, we try to talk and as much as possible as well when we're on this, but we're also on the air as well. You got to know that air, what goes on the air is top priority number one. So I'm assuming that if people can't engage here, it's because they have 28 things going on to make sure that
that's
they're
pretty much what it
prepped
is.
for the air.
Hopefully they are answering when they can.
When they can, yeah.
And we try to encourage them to engage as much as possible. But, as we talked earlier, they're running 100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour.
And so,
And one person can equal 100 people. You know what I'm saying? There could be 100 hellos.
Yeah.
I can't say hi to everybody.
So it gets tough for them during the day. But,
Yeah.
I want them to engage. I want them to at least answer one or two questions.
Absolutely.
From somebody. So.
Absolutely. So not everybody, is just going to talk to you like I do. They'll be like, Nika, can you shut up now? And turn the live off. Okay, Radio Land, we're going to a commercial. We're going to come back because I just got to talk about this awesome promotion real quick before, Blaise, you got a lot of work to do. He's been here, his phone rang 22 times. But, we're going to talk just a little bit more before he gets out of here. And y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be back in 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Good morning, good morning. Glad to have him in San Antonio. I agree, Shay. Isn't he great? Anybody else got a question? Good morning, Tony. How are you doing? Paula said, of course, thank you for partnering with PAM Media Outreach for the Teen Summit at Sam Houston, which I'm very excited about that. I love, I was watching a bunch of little clips, that just make you mad after you watch them. And I was just so, and then this one's little baby just turned 16, and she's beautiful and fabulous and wonderful. And when it gets down to it, you just want people just to do good for these kids and just do the right thing and stop all this BS that they be doing, because it's not that hard to be good.
No. And I'm excited about the Teen Summit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good. And to see what these kids are doing. And again, we talk about images. We see these images of what people may believe we are.
Right.
Versus
what
we are. And you see these kids and what they're doing. Oh, man. That's the real deal.
What is the Teen Summit?
When?
May.
Yeah, Paula, you have to give
Paula.
me
It's like May.
It's in May.
Like a couple weeks. Yeah,
it's coming up.
It's coming up.
But what they did was these kids are partnering. The whole point is they're going to come up with ideas to better the community as a whole, and they've partnered with clergy, they've partnered with police, so law enforcement, clergy, in different aspects, and they're actually going to set goals and then work towards
those goals.
Oh, I'm excited.
Do y'all do internships for high school students?
No, just college.
Okay.
So, but if your daughter, if she wants to pursue journalism, then I would get her in there. Now, what we can do is, and we do this a lot, even with high school students, is we give them a shadow day where they can come in
and just see what's
hang
going
out
on
and see what goes on and see if there's something that they really want to do.
The studio is very cool, and so one thing that you got to know, you got to be a little bit crazy when you're in media. And I say this all the time because you have to know how to talk to yourself, but talk to other people.
Right.
Because there's nobody else in that room. You know what I'm saying? Well, when we in this mic and and by myself, it's like I still got to make it entertaining and engaging, but yet I'm by myself. You gotta be a little bit crazy, just a little bit. And when you're in the media room, it's you got one set over here and a set over here and a set over here, and you've got to be focused in on that eye and talk to the people through the camera, man. It's intense.
Are some of these stations in Houston?
No, we have a station in Amarillo, El Paso, Harlingen, Austin, San Antonio, and Beaumont.
Okay.
But a lot of folks get started. Our Beaumont station, Darlene was one who got started at Beaumont.
Oh.
So we have a lot of John King, our photographer, started in Beaumont.
Gotcha. May 20th.
May 20th.
Yes, and he said make sure that your personalities are promoting their shows via Twitter and all that good stuff. That's what he wants to see. All right, he wants to see that we're about to come on. That's crazy though, because it when you constantly, like, if I'm telling everybody, hey, tune into the morning show, like after I do it the 452nd time, you stop doing it, or you start, think that nobody's watching that. But all those little things, I guess somebody's looking.
It's just when they catch it.
Right, exactly. Good morning. 32 minutes past the top of the hour. You were tuned into the one. Your girl, Miss Nika, T. Rochelle, and Blaise is in the building. Now, you just got this awesome promotion. Were you expecting a promotion? Did they just call you in and you was like, oh, Lord,
this is the funny thing. As I mentioned earlier, we have we're developing more of what's called a content center. So it's all the stations and the websites and everything together. And so we've outgrown the building that we're in, and we're about to we've purchased land, and we want to start building a brand new content center. And I was flown up to our corporate office in Baltimore to talk about the new building. We go in to a meeting with all the
big folks.
The big folks, pay grades way greater than mine, and my boss, the vice president of news, said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." And then he goes, "No, down in my office." So we go down 2 flights of stairs, and I'm thinking, okay, what?
I know they fired over there.
The longest 2 flights of stairs.
I'm thinking, man, they could have just fired me over the phone.
Right, you did not fire me for this. I agree. I'm with you.
And we get down, and he goes, "I know we want to talk about the building, but before we get to that, I want to talk to you about looking at being promoted and running all of our news operations in Texas." I kind of sat there for a minute.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's going to be a long flight right home if I say no, maybe no.
And how long have you been I know you've been in the business for 30 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been with Sinclair?
The 4 years.
Oh, okay, just
when I
okay.
So 4 years and gets promoted.
Yeah.
I love it. One of the guys said I was very impressed with the lady who was at the One Awards from Sinclair Broadcasting. Sinclair is definitely on the right track.
Oh, well, good.
Fantastic, and thank you for going to the One Awards. Your boss, who is still, I call him Casper the Friendly Ghost, because I still haven't seen him.
You've not met John?
I have not seen him yet, and so I'm like, John, thank you for your love and for everything that you do, because of course he does those okays and gives you the permission to do what you do, and so on and so forth. So we definitely recognized him and wanted to say thank you for all the opportunities he's given us. And I still haven't met him, but one day.
Well, he's he really is busy. John was technically he still is, the general manager at WOAI. But John is also, John got promoted right before I did, and John was instrumental in me getting promoted.
Yeah.
John is the group general manager he runs all of the news operations, not only in Texas, but Oklahoma for Sinclair.
Wow.
So he's constantly on the move, but he was very instrumental in saying, hey, look, this young man has done a good job for us here in San Antonio, and we believe in him, and if we're going to move forward, he's somebody we ought to think about. And so he was very instrumental in me getting promoted.
I knew I liked that man. I knew I liked him. I'm going to send him some cookies.
You'll eat them.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so real quick before we get out of here, I just want to know, like we've talked about a little bit, all the things that you've already done for the East Side and for small community organizations and entities and businesses, initiatives. How much money did we raise for the MLK for scholarships again?
Close to 180 or 160,000.
That's great. You notice how I get French when I start talking about we. How much did we do again? And I know that y'all were instrumental in doing the car giveaway during MLK.
2 years in a row we've given a car
yes.
away to help with the scholarship funds.
And I think you're pretty much responsible for the reason why it's broadcast all day, right? Like we can just see the whole march live.
We went to the MLK Commission and talked to them about changing sponsorships. They were with another local television station.
Give us a try, baby.
We told them what our commitment was, and they came over, and I think they've been very pleased with what we've done. Last year, I don't know if you guys got to see it, but I think it's one of the best things around. We did an hour-long special that aired on the history of the commission itself,
yes,
and the march here in San Antonio, and a lot of folks who were involved originally, T.C. Calvert and others, really remarked on how well they thought we told that story. You know, we had comments that this was as good or better than anything you would have seen done by a CNN or any of the major networks.
Well, we always say our talent in San Antonio is beyond. You know, we think of ourselves as local or whatever, but we've got worldwide talent around here. So, you know.
Yeah, and the one thing where what am I trying to say? The King Center is actually looking at that documentary that we put together as something that they want.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That'd be fantastic.
So if you had to say, right, for this position that you're now holding, what would be your vision? Right, I know the company has a great vision. Right. What would be your vision for?
I think, really and truthfully, we'll just start here, and the viewers of San Antonio, is really to show how connected our company is within the state, and showcasing what we do. Again, we have the power of 12 television stations, and we can make a difference in all aspects of lives for the communities that we serve. One of the biggest things that we've done, if you guys remember, about a year and a half ago, we had a young man who was being bullied at Canyon High School and got in a fight and hit another kid. That kid eventually died, and this one kid who was being bullied was prosecuted. We had another young man over in Alamo Heights who hung himself after being bullied. I made a commitment through our stations here in San Antonio to try and influence legislation, to strengthen legislation for bullying in the state of Texas. We committed to the fact that we've done over 120 something stories, and have done it weekly, and we had a campaign called Make It Stop, and we've had celebrities like Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Wendy Williams, who have all backed our campaign. And now, just a week ago, that legislation that has been presented passed committee. So I want to be able to utilize the resources of our company in the state of Texas to help influence and better
something on because it's a mass type thing. Because we all know that media can works all this up here. You know, we can make you move this way, tell you the sky is purple, and you know you're looking at it and you see blue. But we telling you it's purple, you know, and so it's important that you have that type of heart, you know, because that's what I know when I'm thinking about Trump or our leaders or whatever. I'm like, do they have any heart when they go to sleep? Or like, do they care about other people? Are they crying? Do they weep when others are in pain? Because that would help if they did.
And one thing, you know, we touched on this, you know, we talked about, you know, there's a lot of fake news, this, that.
Yeah.
You know, we got to separate ourselves, and people have to realize we're local broadcasters. We're in the communities that we live in, and that we serve those communities. When you get to these national networks, the CNNs or the Fox Newses and MSNBCs, you know, their job is to stay on the air 24 hours. So they get pundits, and these people talk, but they're pushing one side or the other. Depending on where you are, if you lean to the right, then of course CNN is fake news. If you lean to the left, then Fox News is fake news. You know, what I try to get people to understand is look, we're not a part of any of that. We may be a Fox affiliate or an NBC
Right.
affiliate. We carry those affiliated programming, but as far as the news
Everybody
goes,
shows Empire.
Yeah.
However,
yeah, we are a local television station.
Mm-hmm.
We serve San Antonio and the surrounding communities.
Yeah.
You know, from Del Rio all the way back over to Seguin,
right.
and down Cuero.
So one of the things with media too is that we say that the negative always gets the most attention. You know, that's the one everybody wants to talk about. They want to share the fights. They want to share the this and the other. I was a couple Saturdays ago was headed down to a meeting. Happened to pass by a group of community members who were cleaning up the streets. So they had kids, they had everybody out there. So I stopped, did a little, report with them real quick, just to let people know this is what's happening on a Saturday morning on the east side. At the same exact time, 2 streets over, somebody got killed. I don't even know. Like, God had all these kids and all these people covered, you know what I'm saying? But because they didn't even know one thing or the other that was happening 2 streets over. Of course, the main media goes and they cover the shooting. They're not going to cover the kids walking and doing the trash.
Again, a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
there's this big assumption, especially in our community,
Right.
that we know everything.
Right, and you know.
We don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And unless people let us know, and I will say this in all earnest,
Yeah.
but the biggest thing is they always call the news director. Don't call me, call our assignment desk.
Right,
Because
right.
chances of getting a hold of me to tell me something or for me stopping, it's tough, especially in the role that I have now.
Right.
But if you call our assignment desk, we put things in a grid and then we go and talk about those things, as I said, in our editorial meetings.
Answers your question, boo. Call the assignment desk.
Call the assignment desk.
Because and you're right. And that was the other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on, because when people see it opening, they're like, oh Lord, the TV station's at the one radio, they help them, they can help me, kind of thing. And so now, you should be doing stories on this organization, that organization, that. Well, we all know that there's hundreds of organizations. We can't cover all of them. And just because you call on Tuesday don't mean your story's going to run on Wednesday. So I don't ever want people to have that assumption that you have to cover our stories, or have the assumption, I don't really know. How would you address that? Like, look at me, just call the news desk, the assignment desk.
Call the assignment desk. Now, we can't, we only have so many people, so there's only so many things that we can do. And then in a newscast, it's only 30 minutes. So, and we can only be in certain places and do whatever. Again, if your event or if there's something that you're doing that's interesting, that has impact, a broader impact, chances are we probably would get to it or mention it. And we have different outlets too.
Right.
Don't just think about, I have to have a news story.
Right.
There may be a big enough event. Our 6:30 is it's a different kind of newscast.
Mm-hmm.
It's more geared toward a female audience, but we do a lot of community events. So we have an interview segment for different groups and
And
organizations.
this is on what channel, on 6:30?
Channel 4,
Channel 4, okay.
at 6:30. And there is a myriad of people that come on and talk about events. On KBB from 7 to 9,
Mm-hmm.
we have more of a laid-back, fun style of type of news that is all local.
Right.
All local. And again, that's another place where we do interviews, we talk about community events, we share information. So you have those types of outlets on both of our television stations.
Absolutely.
And so it's not just about a story. You could actually get a chance to come on.
And
but
then not even forgetting the online aspect
The
as
online
well,
aspect.
because we always think we want to be on that television, but your online followers are large as well. So if you think, okay, I'm a new business and 1,000 people know about me, well, 100,000 people are on there online.
If
So
you combine the 3 television stations, just Facebook alone, we're close to almost 1 million Facebook followers.
Yeah.
So even being on our
a
Facebook,
Facebook story would be something beneficial and let more people know about what's
Exactly.
going on. And I guess that's one thing that I just want to make people aware of, because one thing, and I think it's just humanness. I think that's just what we do. But like you said, I'm gonna call the news director. I'm gonna call somebody. I'm gonna be mad. Put the blame on somebody. Why you not doing this? But we have to understand all of the different opportunities that we have. It's not just Darlene Dorsey doing a story on it. We can get you some other things. Man, I love it. Okay, so if there's anything else you wanted the San Antonio Radio Land Facebook world to know, what would it be?
Watch Channel 4 and Fox 29.
There you go.
Come on over and give us a chance.
Absolutely, give them a chance. And of course, shout out to all of our fabulous folks over there, everybody. And I even love my girl, and I'm gonna say my baby who does the morning show at 9 on
Kimberly?
Yes, that's my boo. Every time I go in there, she be like, "Hey, makeup." Hey, Kimberly. We meet in the bathroom, in the dressing room. So you guys definitely have a great staff, and congratulations for everything that you're doing and all the good work that you've done, because that got you this promotion and where you're at right now. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to come and share with your listeners.
Man, Paula,
that insight.
Should
Paula
beat me
Gold.
up.
But more than that, the insight into what's going on behind the scenes is important for the regular person. You know what I'm saying? Because like she says, we see what we see, which is the shootings, the killings, the robbings, the murder, everything else. But to know that you're behind the scenes working to make sure that the better voice gets out. You know what I'm saying? Not just that negativity. So we appreciate it.
Because it definitely have to do.
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay, so Blaise, we'll see you again soon.
All right.
I think you should come here, because you're busy, so maybe like once every other month, or once a quarter, or,
Right.
just give us some updates.
No, I don't mind. If once a quarter, if you want.
Yeah.
We'll try to schedule something.
Yeah.
We'll come and do some Facebook Live.
Absolutely. Talk to the people, and maybe so George will be happy. We'll invite Darlene.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I definitely need to bring them.
So everybody be happy be able to see the personalities. Give everybody a hug for me. Thank you so very much. Hey, guess what? Watch Channel 4. Watch Channel 29. All right, sweetie pies, y'all heard it right here. If you got stories, if you got information about the community, about what's going on. Now, look, there's a difference between sharing stories that are beneficial to our entire community and just trying to get advertisement. Those are commercials. If you just opened a business and you want everybody to come to your grand opening, you need to call the commercial department for that. But if you have a community outreach and initiative that's happening, you're raising money for the community, you're doing something for youth to uplift them in some type of way that's going to be beneficial for more than your kids and across the street, but something that the city can get involved in, that's when you call the news, what's it called?
Assignment desk.
The assignment desk. The assignment desk. Hear my words. The assignment desk. The assignment desk. Who do I call, Nika? The assignment desk. Into the thing and you look up the numbers and you say, I need the assignment desk. Then you tell them their story. They're going to look at it. They're going to talk about it.
210-442-6318.
210-442-6318. That's the assignment desk. Go to that number, call them, let them know what your story is, your initiative, and all that stuff, and they'll get back to you. Thank you guys so very much, man. It's your Black Media in the house.